Welcome to this week's program. I'm Shannon Loehrke. This week, the Senate debated the E-12 Omnibus Education Bill. After 3.5 hours of debate, the plan passed on a vote of 38 to 28. Joining me in the studio to discuss the Senate plan is the chair of the E-12 Education Finance Committee, Senator Karla Nelson. Welcome.
Good morning, Shannon.
Funding schools has a lot of components. There's paying teachers, paying for buildings and maintaining the buildings, and transportation and having high quality instruction. All of these elements are very expensive. In this time of budget surplus, the Senate plan is proposing a 1.5% per pupil increase. The Democrats say this isn't enough. How do you respond?
Yes. Well, let me just say that education is the great equalizer, and so it's essential that we do have strong public schools. And I'm a product of public school teachers. Both my mom and dad are public school teachers, and I was myself, so no doubt about that. But I would say that it's important to note that there's a significant increase in funding in the Senate education bill beyond the 1.5% and 1.5%. $330 million of increased special education funding, $181 million of long-term facilities maintenance funding to help take care of those buildings, increased community education funding. So there's, in fact, there's $840 million of increased funding in the bill, plus another $300 million on top of that. So the Senate education bill is actually $1.14 billion of funding, more than our current bill. So that's about 6.5% increase. Now, you've pointed to a very important piece, which is the per pupil funding, which is the most local, the most flexible, and the most fair funding. And we put 90%, over 90% of our budget target into that increased per pupil formula. It did come out to 1.5%. And our schools are asking for 2%, and I believe they do need 2%. But I would say that historically, the governor, since in 2011, he asked for 0% increase on the formula, as did the Democrats. In 2013, he asked for a 1% and a 0% increase on the formula. And then in our last budget, in 2015, the ask was for a 1% increase on the formula. So we certainly have done much better than that in this budget that we have put forward.
On an earlier program, you were present, and we talked about teachers of color and the shortage of teachers. And so to continue that conversation, there's a lot of aspects going into our teacher shortage in the state. There are fewer people entering the profession. There is a shortage in teachers of color. There is a need in math, science, and special education. How will the Senate plan tackle this complex issue?
Well, there are some things within that are within our control, like teacher licensure and incentives and pay and encouraging more teachers of color. Some of those things are outside of our control, the demographic trends, for example. But that's why we need to focus on those factors that we do control. And the Senate bill does a good job of moving us in that right direction. Our teacher licensure system, as you know, was totally broken. Office of the Legislative Auditor report over a year ago described the entire mess that was in, and then it took a lawsuit that we lost on our teacher licensure system. Basically, it had too many different bands and too narrow of strands. It made it very difficult for teachers to be licensed in the areas in which they teach. And it made it difficult for teachers coming in from other states. Like when I moved to Minnesota, I lost a good deal of my teacher licensure credentials that did not transfer to Minnesota. So the new teacher licensure piece that's a part of this education omnibus bill will help streamline teacher licensure. It will make sure that we have a process where those who are successful teachers in other states indeed can come and teach in Minnesota. Our current system was totally broken in that regard. And then, of course, our bill also provides incentives to encourage more teachers of color, whether it be grow your own programs or loan forgiveness or mentorship.
Third grade reading proficiency. Let's talk about that. It's a benchmark for future academic success. How will the Senate's plan help more students achieve that benchmark?
I'm so glad you asked about that. That is the #1 thing. If we can make sure students are reading proficiently at the end of grade 3, they will do well. In fact, 88% of our kids that don't graduate were struggling readers back in 3rd grade. And 89%, compare that with 89% of our students in poverty who we want to make sure have equal opportunities and the resources they need to succeed. 89% of those kids who graduate on time were proficient readers in grade 3. So that's why the Senate, for the last several years, ever since I got here really, have been really focused on 3rd grade reading. So we started with the 3rd grade reading competency. We increased literacy aid. This year, we are also putting a little bit more teeth into that, a little more information for parents, so that if a student is not reading on grade level at the end of grade 3, then there are specific steps taken in notice with that parent about things that can be done and resources that are available to help their child become great readers. And that is absolutely essential, and 3rd grade is the key mark where we need to make sure that all kids are reading on grade level.
Well, and there's also been a little bit of new work done by Senator Chamberlain on dyslexia,
yes.
And that goes to reading as well. And
it does, and that's another piece of this bill, very important. 1 out of 5 kids is dyslexic. That's 20% of our kids. And using proper techniques that are proven successful for dyslexia kids, these kids can be terrific readers. And we need to make sure that all of our teachers have access to those tools, and that's what Senator Chamberlain's initiative, having a dyslexia specialist in MDE, will help. But I actually have future plans for that as well, growing into the future, using some great tools to make sure that this goes statewide.
One last question. What in the Senate plan is going to help the state confront the disparities in education between white students and students of color?
Well, I think Grow Your Own can help, making sure that we have more teachers of color. But more than that, we need to make sure that all kids are ready for kindergarten when they get there. Those are great obstacles to overcome if kids are not prepared. And so that's where we are laser focused in the Senate on, yes, increased funding for those 4-year-olds, but doing it in a very targeted manner so those scholarships go to the students who need it the most, and then provide the greatest flexibility for communities and parents to figure out how best to prepare those kids.
Conference committee is next. You said the other day you think the money going into the pot might go up a little bit. How would you like those extra dollars focused?
Oh, well, I don't know if I should totally tip my hand here, but I would say I think there are some very key things. We know, I firmly believe that 2% increase on the formula would be very beneficial. It's the most important type of funding. It's bread and butter funding for education. It gives our school districts great flexibility. And as I said, it treats every student fairly. And then, of course, making sure that kids are ready for kindergarten when they get there. Make sure our dollars can be maximized, we're targeting them, and we're getting great results. And then if we can make sure kids are ready for kindergarten when they get there, they're reading at the end of 3rd grade, we are well on our way to closing that achievement gap.
Senator Nelson, I want to thank you for your time today.
Great to be here. Thank you so much.